When you think about threats to your home, you probably picture something you can see, right? Like a big storm rolling in. But today, we're talking about a completely different kind of enemy, one that works in total silence, an invisible army that can literally dismantle your biggest investment from the inside out. Yep, we're talking about termites.
So let me just start with a question for you. What do you think causes more property damage in this country every year than fires, floods, and storms combined? The answer is probably not what you're thinking. It's this tiny little insect, the termite. And the scale of the destruction they're responsible for, well, it's pretty mind-blowing.
To really get a handle on it, let's just put a price tag on the problem. Because this isn't some minor pest you can just ignore. We're talking about a massive, global economic threat. Every single year, termites cost the world over $40 billion. No, that's not a typo. $40 billion. That's a number so big it's hard to even wrap your head around it. It's bigger than the entire economy of some countries, all because of an insect you can fit on your pinky nail. And if you want to bring it a little closer to home, right here in the US, termites damage more than 600,000 homes annually. Think about that. That's like the entire city of Boston having every single one of its homes hit every single year. All that damage adds up to a yearly bill in the United States of over $5 billion. But here's the real kicker. You listening? Your standard homeowner's insurance policy, it almost certainly does not cover termite damage. Insurers see it as a maintenance issue, something you could have prevented. So that $5 billion, that comes straight out of the pockets of homeowners like you and me. So how in the world can something so small cause so much chaos? Well, to really understand the threat, you've got to understand the enemy. So let's meet the crew and see how they pull it off. Okay, this is a big one because it's probably the most common mistake people make. You see some winged bugs swarming in the spring and you think, oh, it's just ants. But hold on. Look closely. A termite swarmer has straight antennae and a thick, broad waist. An ant, on the other hand, has those bent or elbowed antennae and a really skinny, pinched waist. Knowing this difference is absolutely your first line of defense. Now, here's why they're so sneaky. A termite colony is this incredibly efficient machine. You've got your queen, you've got your soldiers, but look at that chart. Up to 97% of the entire colony is made up of workers. These are the ones doing all the damage. They're blind, they're sterile, and they work 24/7. They never sleep. They just eat, and they do it all completely hidden from view. So what are all those millions of workers eating day in and day out? If you're thinking the answer is just wood, well, you might want to brace yourself. Their menu is a lot more extensive than you'd think, which puts way more of your home at risk. I mean, sure, the main course is always going to be the structural wood in your home. They have these amazing little microbes in their stomachs that let them digest cellulose, which is the tough stuff in wood. They hollow it out from the inside, leaving just this paper-thin layer on the outside that looks totally normal. But they'll also eat anything else with cellulose. We're talking books, cardboard boxes in the attic, even your cotton clothes. And get this? They'll chew right through stuff they can't even digest, like plastic or insulation, just to get to a meal on the other side. Okay, so that's the problem. It's big, it's hidden, and it's expensive. I get it. But the good news, and there is good news, is that it's largely preventable. So let's switch gears and talk about building your defense plan. Seriously, you have a ton of control here. It really comes down to 3 simple things that make a world of difference. First, get rid of any wood that's touching the ground around your house. That's like a superhighway for termites. Second, get control of moisture. They need water to survive, so fix those leaks and make sure water drains away from your foundation. And third, get a professional inspection once a year. Early detection is everything. But what if you think you already have a problem? This brings up the million-dollar question for any homeowner in this spot. Can you actually handle this yourself, or is it time to bring in the big guns? Well, the numbers here really speak for themselves. DIY treatments for an active infestation, they have a really high failure rate. You might kill the few termites you can see, but you'll probably miss the queen and the heart of the colony deep inside the walls. Professional treatments, on the other hand, have a success rate that's consistently over 90%. They've got the training, the right equipment, and they offer warranties to back it up. I think this quote from entomologist Dr. Michael Rust just says it all perfectly. He says, trying to treat an active infestation yourself is like performing surgery on yourself. I mean, it's technically possible, but would you really want to take that risk? For prevention, DIY is great, but for a full-blown colony, that's a job for an expert. So let's bring it all home and get to the final verdict. We've looked at the threat, we've looked at the solutions, but at the end of the day, this whole thing really boils down to a simple financial choice. And this chart tells the entire story. On the left, you've got the cost of prevention over a decade. It's a small, predictable, manageable expense. And on the right, you've got the massive, stressful, unpredictable cost of repair after the fact. The financial argument for being proactive isn't just strong, it's a total no-brainer. So, we'll just leave you with this one last question to think about. Your home. It's almost certainly the biggest investment you'll ever make. So knowing what you know now about this silent, persistent, and incredibly expensive threat, is it truly protected? Because when it comes to termites, an ounce of prevention isn't just worth a pound of cure, it's worth a house.